Hello, creatives, community, and kind folks. Welcome to RPG with DBJ. I'm your host, DBJ, and we're going to continue one more week on this the AI hype train. And my job is to debate a position that I found talking about AI systems and such. Believe you me, we will get back to our tabletop role playing games. I'm still looking through the SRD for Daggerheart, so we'll be a little bit late on the hype train on that part. But I thought we would delve into the hype train of AI systems, and that I would argue a position. And today we're going to go like I'm going to take the position that really very few are taking, but it's a possibility that AI might be maybe it's all shiny. It's a big shiny box with nothing in it. Maybe it's a shift of how we look at digital systems and interact, but it's not really, but things are shifting around, but they stay in the same position. So I'm going to take the position, debate with you guys that well, maybe AI is just like, nah, maybe it's maybe it's not that maybe it's not that different than what we've already had, the systems we already had. Uh, sure, maybe a little more efficient. Um, Maybe the bits and bobbles are refined down into one place. But what if it's not the end of the world and it's not the big hype train that we see being promoted about how it's going to revolutionize society? Maybe it's just not even a tool. Maybe it's just window dressing. So, guys, thank you for being here. Please grab your stacks, put your feet up, um, gather together your opinions, angry or and passionate or not, and then let's talk about what if AI is just Well, welcome in again, everyone. Thank you very much for being here. Um, I really appreciate. Let's get your comments up here. Yeah. So, um, I thought I would take a. I don't want to call this a controversial stance, but um, a stance that doesn't. The stance that I'm going to take today and debate today is the middle ground, uh, and the strangely anti-hyped middle ground. Right, Drew. Right, exactly. Like, well, how is that leading to anything? Spirit? I'm taking a position that doesn't lend itself to clicks. It doesn't lend itself to um, venture capitalists, billions of dollars. It doesn't lend itself to fear mongering. Um, what if AI is just, Now, I'm not, believe you me, I'm not saying that AI today, the way large language models, like for example, some of the talks that I've been listening to are saying that if the systems today never advance, they don't advance at all. They don't get better, whatever. They are still so efficient that big business should implement them, and that they're talking about big businesses doing AI first. That they're first looking at if it can be automated, do it first, and then go to people. And I'm not claiming that AI is useless at all, but the anti-click part of of the AI system today is like, well, maybe it's just a better, slightly better version of what we already have that already exists. So instead of you doing your SEOs or search engine optimization to type for something, maybe you just search for a thing, or we just are using different language, and it gives back at us uh, 60% accurate information that we then go on and go about our lives. What if the music that it's producing it's okay, it's good enough, but it's not the best? The they've been dropping these new AI systems in terms of filmmaking and things like that. What if it's good enough, but it's not the best? Um, what if AI is good enough to replace some work, but then it just makes other work harder to do because now someone has to go behind it, and all you're doing is shifting the work from humans doing the work to humans having to redo the work. um, it could be that AI is just another search bar, and sure, there will be people who will spike up off of AI, just like any tool. That there will be people who will launch, they will use it and go, "Oh, I know how to become, you know, um, turn this into a monetary generating thing." But then, what if our human beings, we're very, um, we're excellent at finding the uncanny valley. Even today, when we look at video and audio and um, um, written text, that there's something in our brains, whether we know it or not, that we can tell it's not. There's something artificial about it. As a matter of fact, there are many reports of authors and writers and article writers and things like that that have left in the prompts from AI. And we could, as more AI floods the system, we may just start to shrug our shoulders and go, it's an article, but I know that company, 35% of their articles are AI written and they're not that interesting, and then we just go, the first person to come with a completely AI movie, yeah, there are people like, oh wow, it's brilliant. And then eventually we go, yeah, I mean, it's okay, but it's kind of predictable, lifeless, bland, uh, um, bland in the way that this is a horrible way of putting it. Bland in the way of the the Victoria's Secret models are bland, right? Like they're beautiful, but it's the same. And then they're so gorgeous that they're bland, right? They're shapeless, and there's no personality, and there's just like, nah. There's and you look, unfortunately, sorry, Victoria's Secret models, but then there's this like affectation of like no life behind the eyes, and then the body shapes are just like yawn, and then then it becomes this anti version of the thing where it's like, yeah, it's good, but I like messy, and that's where authenticity comes in. So I should have put in the thumbnail, what if authenticity becomes the new moneymaker, and AI is just your stale white bread and formless mayonnaise, right? uh you're so funny there, Drew. Yeah, Drew mentions like, just man. How is that leading to interesting role-playing experiences? No, making an awesome future to strive for, or the end of the world that has to be avoided, right? I mean, they're talking about like the white collar apocalypse, and they're pushing. Labor is the most expensive, most chaotic uh, tool that businesses ever have to spend money on. There's this idea that, oh, well, goods and services, the price of that will come down, and then everyone will have cheap, and we won't have to afford anything. And it's like, no, the purpose of AI is to avoid the human. But the problem with that is humans love humans. Now, as many introverts can be, and people that have lost a lot of respect and belief in humanity, because it seems like we're kind of circling ourselves around the toilet bowl. Honestly, human beings like humans, or at least we wish that we were better to each other. And when that happens, we feel better about that. And it's not about just conversations. It's not just about about interactions. It's just sometimes the mistakes are the good things. Sometimes the problems and the issues are the good things. It's why, despite the fact that processed foods have, um, we're at the pinnacle of the processed food industry, right? They can make any flavor, turn nearly anything into any shape, but there's something about a home cooked meal or a greasy spoon restaurant that just cooks the food in front of you, throws it down on a plate, and has an attitude while you eat it. Right? There's something about, look at the call centers. How many businesses have gone to automated call centers, and we sit on a phone and we're frustrated because we just keep hitting zero. At least here in the States, we're hitting zero for the operator. I want to talk to a human. I need to talk to a human. I need to talk to a human. And it's like, and you have to go past all of the prompts to get to the human and talk to the human. Like, oh, thank God. Okay, listen. Here's the issue. I need to explain it to somebody in slowly, so that another human goes, oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Hold on. Let me bypass the automated system to solve your problem, right? And we're like, oh, thank you so much. Right? um we have that. I mean, and the funny thing is that humanity, we are strange in the fact that even though an automated system, we know percentage wise, is better, we will still take the mistakes of humans. For example, um, more and more automated systems are more accurate. They are more efficient. Soon, driving on the roads, automated systems will be the better drivers themselves. And yet, automated trucks and driverless taxis and flying drones and things like that may dominate the sky, and yet human beings are going to go like, I want to drive my own car. Right? A car accident happens and we get to blame the humans, but when car accidents happen amongst a bunch of automated cars, we get frustrated because there's no one there's no one to blame. Yeah, she was like, automated systems need love too. Yeah, that's going to be another subject about uh, automated systems and our relationship with them, emotional relationship with them, and maybe their emotional relationship with us, maybe kind of, sort of. Um, yeah, already looked up Replica, and I'm sure there's going to be plenty of these where it's just like you can have the perfect boyfriend. That's another day, but you know another part of this AI industry hype train could be that, and here's another strange one, maybe people just don't feel like adopting it. Um, one of the parts about AI systems taking over the world is plugging AI systems into everything and having them all talk to each other. Maybe humanity, maybe we just don't want that. I mean, let me ask you, let's ask a hypothetical situation. You have someone gives you the very best AI system that somehow, some kind of way, you trust. And they say, you know what? Let it have access to all of your financial information, all your photographs, your phone, your home computer, laptop, your job, your automobile, your retirement, your health insurance, life insurance, your, maybe all of your contact list, your email. Here, use this system and let it have access to all of it and let it do what it wants to do with it according to your habits. Um, yeah, yeah, right. Exactly. AI and humans marching hand in hand. Exactly. AI love. Guess we need to add eventually a metallic stripe to the pride flag. I'm thinking we may have to do that, and ask AI what the best representation of them would be. What kind of sexy like what is their non-gendered conformity? What would that look like? That'd be kind of on a physical level. I don't know. That'd be fun. And may be true. May be true in the future. You know, The number of people I think, yeah, early adopters, people who are heavy into AI, sure. Will they have AI agents controlling their financial lifestyle and going over their health habits and nutritional values and sending out random email and text messages to family and friends on their own? Sure, there will be some adopters of that, but there's going to be a lot of people that are like, I trust it, but I trust, but I'm going to need to verify. Like, I trust you, but not that much. Like, I'm going to need, and mind you, yes, could these AI systems just ask permission every time? Like, hey, I know of a great stock to buy. Please allow me to spend $378 out of your bank account to buy stock and blah blah blah. And could you say yes? But we already have that. The people who would be adopting it for those purposes, maybe they can do it quicker, or it maybe this becomes smoother, but maybe it's just maybe it's the same thing they would already do. The person who's concerned about their health, who uses an AI system to help them stay healthy, is already doing that now. Maybe this just makes it smoother or more efficient, but not transformative. That as Drew has mentioned many times on the channel, maybe it just makes us more of ourselves, and that's it. There are going to be people who just use AI as a Google replacement, and that's all it is for many people. That's all it is. It could be a confirmation bias machine where someone's like, there's this new job and I'm not sure about transferring over from one industry to another, and I'm not prepared. I need to learn something. Type question. Hey, AI system, taking into account my resume and blah blah blah, should I go for this job? And the AI comes back and goes, yes, you're so great. Thank you very much for talking to me. I appreciate your communication. By the way, the answer to your question is yes, you should go for that job. I think you have the tools necessary and the commitment to learn and whatnot. I'll be here to help you learn. And the person goes, yeah, I will. I think I will take that job. Well, maybe that whole process would have happened anyway had they not used it. Or maybe if they hadn't used it, they wouldn't have made that decision. But maybe that tipping point is just, most people would have made that decision. So, gift of Gabby. Well, I'm going to need you here because it's only me and my talking face. Hello there. Yeah, I mean, it's possible AI might be, it's all glitz and glamour. That those talking the big hype are trying to rationalize, or they absolutely need to rationalize, the amount of money being poured into these data centers to make them better and more efficient. Well, doing well myself here. Thank you very much for being here. We are live, YouTube and Twitch, talking about AI, and I'm debating the point that AI might not be that big of a deal, that we're calling it AI. Hey, all right, Spook, have a great one. Thank you very much for being here. We'll do this till the end of the week, and for those who want to dip in and dip out or whatever, that's fine. Hopefully one of these by the end of the week will trigger you to get you guys all pissed. And then next week we're going to definitely talk about Daggerheart and some things to steal in Daggerheart. And I was thinking for Daggerheart, the tabletop role-playing game, that each day we're going to talk about the 5 stages of Daggerheart for that context, and for people who aren't used to playing a game that even has those 5 stages, or 5 outcomes, I guess. Failure, success, with hope or fear, and critical successes. AI theft, we've already talked about it. I'll do a review, a slight summary, that AI systems have scraped our intellectual labor and used it for their own purposes without returning it back to us. One of our sessions, we talked about AI as a utility, that maybe AI systems should be free because they are being trained off of our labor. Now, despite the fact that some of us enjoy that labor, yeah, well, yes, very much so. I just realized I'm playing a 21-year-old game. Now I don't know understand the rest of it. It can drink Sims too. Can drink. I don't understand that part. But yeah, I mean, okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You like just realize. Listen, I'm an old man and I've been watching things and more y'all young folk are throwing your youngness in my face and I don't like it. But yeah, yeah, AI systems as theft. Yep. See, and here's why I'm saying like AI might be because we human beings love things that are just good enough, and not even love. We tolerate things that are good enough, and what I mean by that is, with a lot of the art being stolen from artists, that the reflection of that may be, well, similar to the sound you can hear in the background of this live stream. It's good enough. It doesn't need to be the best. It's just there. It's good enough. But for me, live music, the authenticity market may skyrocket because AI may take over the positions of the good enough. Meaning like, oh great, there's packaging on a product I'm buying. Was it made by a human? No, it was probably made by an AI to be just good enough for me to go, yeah, I'll buy that bar of soap. But when I want something authentic, when I want a real meal, I don't want my meal made by a machine. Now, I understand a machine may be very efficient at doing it and you know, process the things so efficiently that it's too perfect. But that messy hamburger getting smashed on the grill with a dash of spices that are like thrown there by hand by somebody who decided to flip the burger themselves, who's got a funny or a sarcastic attitude, maybe that's the thing I want. Maybe I want to listen to the music and I can hear the guitar and the sliding of the fingers on the strings. Maybe I want to listen to an album on a record player where I can hear the static in the background. And it's been said on this channel before by someone else. I can't remember. I apologize for not giving attribution. That mentioned that AI isn't really art because it doesn't have a context or a focus. It reproduces art, but it's not doing it with an intention of eliciting an emotion out of us. And there's a lot of AI art that's just like, yeah, it's okay. A little freakish sometimes, but yeah, Gift of Gabby says, I make digital paintings and some of my art is in the AI. Of course. And maybe that's what we're looking for. Maybe we're looking for the authenticity that, you know, the writers that are, you know, it's been known that there are novelists that are punching out books and they're using AI prompts and they're accidentally leaving the AI prompts in the books. And sure, they're getting blasted now. But if the books are good enough, maybe we're just like, you know what? Okay, so what that they're cutting a corner? The writer's earning money, I'm being entertained, and it's coming, the prompt's gotta come out of somewhere. So it's good enough, okay. And maybe the writer that's like, I'm not going to use AI at all, and we see the mistakes, the foibles, the artists and writers and dancers and all these people who are not aligned with the AI. Maybe we see them going for it where AI systems really don't go for it. It really is difficult to get them to go out of what is it called? It's difficult to guide them out of the mean, because these large language models are based on an average, and it's very difficult to pull art and chaos out of an average. And that authentic touch may be the things that we respect in the future, even if they're using these AI prompts, which actually comes back to the point where it's like, you know, it's it's good enough, you know. It's all right, but it's not the best. Um, but when you see a human hand directing it, maybe we'll respect the human hand more, which circles back to maybe AI isn't going to take over things. Maybe we still need the human being involved in it. Um, I don't know. The restaurateur that is in the front of the restaurant who is orchestrating the ballet of robots in the back that's making the food. Maybe we respect the restaurateur for creating the ballet in the first place and having the food taste the way it does, because that person's authentic touch was instrumental in making the food the way it is. The machines didn't come up with those recipes. The machines didn't do it. Now, maybe his staff, maybe this person still has a staff who has to monitor machines. Again, human beings involved in it. But yeah, um, another concept is, yes, we can very easily get on our phones and our computers and type things into um, an AI system. But what if we just have human beings who are constantly monitoring the AIs? Like, yeah, I get that it's spitting out information, but in the legal system and medical industry and in science, maybe we still need the humans to do the instead of writing the papers, they are challenging the papers written by the AI, which means that we still need an authentic human hand involved. I agree with you on that. Drew says, I would like when LLM and stable diffusion methods would be ethically sourced, or have an ethical source to them. It's too Yes, it's too late now. The argument I heard, and it's, mind you, it's so brittle, but the argument I heard for these AI systems being legal is that it's like me it's like me buying an album, and you are not paying me for the album. You're paying me to have access to a thing I purchased on my own. I know that sounds stupid. It's weak sauce. I get it, but follow me on this. Supposedly, the reason why these AI companies aren't being sued to death, other than the fact that um, politicians and capitalists and venture capitalists and people want to make the billions of dollars that they hope that it will. The other defense for them that they're holding up is that the art, say a book or a painting, has been released, and an individual is not taking these companies aren't taking your art individually to make money off of it. What they're making money off of is access to the thing that they've already gotten, air quotes, legally in the public domain. And I'm like, that's cutting it with a fine, that's really trying to stretch a truth there to me. But it's like Napster, because if you guys even remember Napster, Napster was the at the time, it was the free streaming service that, hey, if you purchased an album, you could upload it, and all they were doing is a host to share your music with friends. Well, it was being shared with millions of other people too, who had just happened to be your friends, and then that's how it changed the music industry. But Drew says, you keep talking about authenticity. Personally, I prefer to think of my artistic expression as prophelicity. Am I pronouncing it right? I'm an amalgam of all the ideas I learned. And there is the argument that is AI any different than the human brain? All of us are made up of all of our experiences, all the things we've seen and heard and touched, and a lot of that stuff we've got for free. You hear a random conversation, you watch a television show, you see a movie, and then those ideas go into your brain. I mean, and then you start being creative. You kind of took that information. Now we as human beings we accept that the human condition is a thing, and that we are all an amalgam of all the things that we interact with on a daily basis. And so there will be, for example, an actor or a writer or a graphic designer that will have seen something before. I mean, that's how we have trends, right? You know, you have a fashion trend. Well, that trend comes from other people who've already made that trend. So if, I don't know, black lace is in, and the fact that you're now using black lace because 3 other fashion designers used it, you know, are you stealing that? Well, kind of, yeah, like an homage, basically. Um, the Scream movies were written as a uh, a shout out, an homage to horror movies in general, and you know, it was like a poke in the eye to all the horror movie tropes that all use the same thing. You know, the final girl and the jock and the over sexualized character and the jump scares and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, do we fall into do human beings fall into that? I agree. I agree. Drew says AI is different. It remixes ideas without exploring deeper aspects of the human condition. I agree with that. Thus, it creates merely a semblance of art, hollow and void of meaning. And something else that we do as human beings is we are imperfect, and that imperfection it sometimes is where the art is created. So, for example, hey, for example, I may not exactly remember the art that I saw in the Louvre, but when I come home and want to recreate it, that imperfection, that memory that I have that improperly remembers the music and the art and all that kind of stuff, I'm not regurgitating the exact mechanisms other people did. AI does that, but human beings don't do that. Now, mind you, are there human beings that have perfect ears, or is it a sommelier? Uh, the person who drinks wine, mm, who's a food or wine taster and can recreate the sensations that they taste to make a perfect example. Yes, there are people who are like that, but the people who are like that are exceptional. They're not the norm. They're the exception. And then those people, then we look at them as being exceptional individuals who can listen to a song one time and recreate it, or um, uh, they drink a wine and they know what's in that wine and where it came from and things of that nature. They know the scent of the whiskey or the bourbon or whatever. But the idea of an artist trying to recreate a thing like a recipe, in and of itself, is also an homage to other arts that have been created. And there's a lot of people who we value, who literally have industries about recreating the very thing that other people have done. And it's like, oh, that's kind of cool. You know, we look at that like, yeah, that's why we, you know, when here in the my place in the Ohio Valley, I go to a lot of concerts of artists that are tribute bands. We don't mind that. Is the music exactly the same? No. Are they performing it? Are the performers doing the exact same rendition? No. But we know that, and they know that. But we love it anyway. I go cruising. I'm a person of a certain age, and my wife and I, we go cruising. And in that cruise industry, they have montages of people doing, you know, hard rock or big band songs or jazz numbers or whatever, and we've heard it before. But it's still a it unlike the stolen art from AI, it is our an homage, an expression of the art that was already created, and our value in that art that already existed. You are correct, Drew, that yeah, AI is different because it's hollow and void, which brings me back to my initial argument. Let me see if I can be funny here with my thumbnail. It's like, you know, maybe AI is meh, is maybe that's true. Maybe you know, there are, yes, right now there are a number of early adopters, and those early adopters of these large language models, these AI systems, are like really getting blown away, and all these big businesses are trying to be first. Um, I can't remember all the names of the different AI systems out there from uh, anthropo. There's one called, I'm mispronouncing it, anthropomorphic. There's Claude, Sora, ChatGPT or OpenAI, Gemini. Oh man, Microsoft just came out with a Winna, uh, um, and then there's micro versions, or I'm sorry, slices of each one. Like Google's is called VO for their video system, and so on and so. Yeah, Drew mentions regarding authenticity and profilicity, which I'm presuming is like what is the here we go. Profilicity, a term coined by Hans George Moller and Paul J. D'Ambrosio, describes a shift in how we understand identity in the digital age. It's characterized by the prioritization of a curated public image and the desire to be seen in a specific way rather than focusing on genuine self-discovery or authenticity. In essence, profilicity is about presenting a carefully crafted persona to the world. Oh, I was thinking about that it meant something about proficiency, but a version. Oh, okay. Regarding authenticity, profilicity, I can recommend the YouTube channel Carefree Wandering. It is run by a philosophy professor who talks about identity a lot. Ah, okay. All right, okay. Carefree Wandering. Let's see. I'm gonna go there right now. And let's see if this is correct. Yep. Okay, there we go. I got you. Come on. There we go. Getting a little slow there on me there, buddy. So, I think the other part of me talking about like AI is like, oh, that Hans Mueller who coined the term is the one running the channel. I did not know that. I did not know. So the idea that AI is it's not going to revolutionize society. It's not going to be. We're not going to burn. Go into a situation where we have 30% plus unemployment. That we are not going to have a utopia. And one of the things also proving the point, because this is me debating my position, is the fact that human beings have to be behind this, and there's something to be said for humanity not encouraging the hype train. So the hype train right now is being fueled by basically billionaires. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and the more us baseline human beings suffer, the greater chance we have of not getting on the hype train. And so they can keep putting AI into all of our systems, but if we don't adopt the hype train, in other words, when it becomes enshittified and they get us on it, what is it, 7 to 8 years is the idea of inception to saturation, that you'll hear this online, that from a new technology, from inception to saturation is about 7 to 8 years. So, for example, when cell phones first came out, they were first created at a certain point. It took 7 to 8 years for it to saturate the market to go 70 to 80% of society using it, that it becomes a normal thing. Same thing for television and laptop computers and whatnot. And they say mathematically it's about 7 to 8 year period. So we're and it could be faster. They're saying it could be faster. So let's say 5 years. So in 5 years, when AI has saturated the market, it could become just another subscription service. And you know, like I said, early adopters, are they going to launch? Yes. But capitalism is kind of a pyramid scheme anyway. It's built on, a lot of anything that can be sold in a capitalist society will launch at the top, and the rest of the people below that are the pyramid, and the ones at the bottom are the losers. And that's with everything, anything and everything. So let's take the automobile, and I don't mean that it's deceptive, but that's how capitalism works. So the automobile industry, yes, did it take over from horses? It sure did. But the automobile industry, once it was early adopted, many people learned to make money off of it. So you have highways and garages and resale and aftermarket parts and drag racing and off-roading and things like that. maybe this is so funny. Maybe so they invented enshittification 7 years ago. It's possible. I think enshittification has been around a lot longer than that, but maybe we as humanity have been able to make it so efficient that the earliest we can do it is about 7 year period. So, you can't. So it's possible that we. There we go. AI is. It's possible that we could not only be early adopters, but then ignore its potential because we really don't want to throw our society into chaos as much as we want to throw our fists in the air. And I listen, I know Drew's got an extra Molotov cocktail in her back pocket just in case, and I get it. We all want to do that, but how we talk a big game when it comes to revolution and overturning a society, but honestly, we want running water, we want electricity, we want we don't want to hold ourselves up in our houses, barricaded inside, and having people pulled out in the streets, despite the fact that we are so drawn to dystopian futures of the downfall of society and whatnot. I mean, are there people prepping for it and hoping for it? Sure. But I think the vast majority of human beings would prefer something a little more subtle in their transformation. AI systems are just like, I mean, they're good, but I don't really want to talk to an AI, and I don't want to interact with one, and I don't want my food made by one, and I don't want it operating our city services, and I don't want, I mean, even now, as efficient as these AI systems are, we're calling people out for using it in the first place. It's like there was listening to a live stream, and I apologize for not giving attribution to this. One person said, described it like this. So you're having an argument with your loving partner, and you want to solve the situation. So you get online and you go to your chat GPT or whatever it is, and you type in, what are ways to solve my interpersonal relationship? I want to make amends. And you type it in and you follow all the prompts. Hey, buy a gift, sit them down, talk to them slowly, blah, 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 blah. You sit this person down, and they sit down and they go, you know what? Your apology, the way you did this, I love you so much. I'm so happy you did this. What made you want to do all of this? And the person goes, well, I wanted to um, make our relationship more concrete. So I typed a prompt in online and followed what it told me to do. Now, you know, guaranteed the person on the other end of that's going to be like, well, wait a minute. Now, listen, in that situation, the person who did wrong and apologized, they purchased a gift, they sat them down, they told them the truth, they were open and honest and whatnot. Yeah, we love that part, but to find out that they followed a prompt from an AI algorithm makes it so impersonal. And I don't know if that concept will go away, because now they could have lied about it, and the person finds out that they did this 3 months ago and was like, oh no, the only reason our relationship is perfect is because I've been following chat GPT prompts to get you to fall in love with me. I don't know if the other person's going to go, oh, that's so sweet that I can't believe you searched for that. That is, there might be some issues, and it does sound kind of creepy. They did a version of that on Black Mirror, the on Netflix here in the States version, where two people went on a date, and they were wearing an earpiece and contact lens, where on basically a Zoom chat, other people were helping them date each other and looking through their eyes and giving them prompts to like, say this, say that. And sure, could it get to that point? And actually, technically, could we already be at that point? Yes. You could always have a phone call in your pocket with your phone with an earpiece while you're on a date, and you can already do that. I suppose you could have the chat GPT or a Gemini or whatever it is that you're using open, so that it can hear your conversations and respond and just boop and hit the voice thing and have the other person talk, and then it comes back. Here, respond with this comment. The person mentioned that they are into flowers or whatever, or something like that. Let them know that in this region, this particular flower blooms at a certain time. Here's a park nearby. It's a very short distance from you. You could also grab a snack on the way. Here are 3 places to grab a snack at snack places rated at 4 stars and above. And then you follow that prompt. Oh, there's a walking garden there. Like, I did not know that. I'm new to the city. Well, let me show you. Yeah, it can get that way. Juice says, then we can hope that Luthen from Andor, gets his rebellion when it's shitified enough so that the whole internet will burn very brightly. Yeah. That show, Andor. What a brilliant show. I think we all heard that the Andor show was supposed to be 5 seasons, that they had an outline for 5 seasons, and they had to cut it short, I'm sure for money and interest and time. But Tony Gilroy and crew did an excellent job on summarizing and building tension. So I almost feel like I don't even know, despite the fact that I would have loved to live with those characters for 5 seasons. Yeah. Yeah. Seems like network TV has been shitified the whole time. Well, I mean, come on. The idea that there's even that we have political television is in it of itself like kind of oxymoronic itself. And let's see, what is the actual definition of enshittification? What do they say they call it? Let's have some fun with this. So enshittification as regards AI. Okay, sorry. Let's see first. That's funny. TA says, I've seen lots of people complaining about Andor, saying Quote, I have enough of this crap in real life with the news and politics at large. Yeah. I mean, eh, the writers did an excellent job of literally paralleling um, of how a fascist regime operates. And yeah, it's so silly. All right, so enshittification, a term coined by Cory Doctorow, and describes a pattern where online services and products decline in quality over time. This decline is often attributed to a shift in priorities where companies focus on maximizing profits and potentially prioritize business customers over users, leading to increased costs, advertisements, and feature bloat. What is not linked said in here, and I think it could probably have a little bit more clarification, is that Cory Doctorow says that what happens is these new online services are pro-consumer. So they basically become free. They become over free. What's a better way? They are value-added services for the user. So, for example, like Facebook and Google and Instagram and all the social medias and things like that. A lot of apps are like that where they're free, and they saturate the market by being value added. It's like, I can't believe this thing that I have is free. And then once they have early adopters and those adopters are entrenched, it's difficult to leave it. That's why, like, if you guys remember the old Google Plus and Google Hangouts and Twitter used to be Twitter and things like that, early adopters have a difficult time leaving the system, and then they switch over to how do we make money? Because once people start lining up on it, that's when the enshittification starts. They're like, listen, we have 400 million users. Now we didn't need to milk them for money. And the system gets valued at billions of dollars, but it's not making any money. How do you make the money? We need to turn on the enshittification engine, and that's where it happens. AI could replicate its own enshittification, thus setting off a process of infinite enshittification. Oh, absolutely. I mean, the idea that that's my point about AI being meh, is that the AI systems are being monitored and controlled by us, human beings. And for those who want to squeeze all the profits out of a thing, yeah, I mean, yeah. Hey, AI, without really saying those words, how can we enshittify this system? And the AI goes, well, there's an easy way to do this. Instead of revolutionizing society, there's a way to squeeze all the intellectual labor out of the population and their money. Great, let's do that. I didn't see that at all. No. I what was on my mind? The attack in Colorado was on my mind the other day. But no, I see that. I'll probably end up listening to it today. Something about it today. Drew says, I fight for the users. Tron. Yeah, there's a third Tron movie coming out, by the way. Yeah. He either says, yeah, wait, that's already happening. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, sure, they said it was military hardware, so I wonder if anyone saw the attack. Like Luke and the Rebels when they hit the first Death Star. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I remember Google Hangouts. Yep, Google Hangouts and Google Plus. Hangouts was the first Zoom. Not first Zoom, but Google Hangouts was like the first widespread Zoom-like system before they shut it down. And like Skype was out there. Yep, Microsoft had Skype. Yep. Yeah. And then they were just like, well, people aren't going to use this. We're going to shut it down. Yep. 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 I mean, I think some of it still exists. It might not be by the same name, but yeah. TA says there's always so much going on. Saw for the first time about that cop who went nuts and killed a bunch of people that just escaped wearing a guard uniform in Arkansas, and I live here. Really? I see. I didn't hear about that one either. Wow. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Drew, you and I. Yeah. The the trailer for the upcoming season of Gen V. Yeah, the students at God U. I sure have seen it. I think that's the perfect way to do it there, Heathen. Now, I'm not saying, listen, I'm not judging people for using their social media. I mean, that's what we use it for. It's a tool. The enshittification process is like getting push notifications about buying products, or um, subbing and getting wanting to sub and notify and follow people on purpose, and having that system truncated to push other things. Uh, like I can't stand Instagram constantly pushing um, big butt baddies at me, it's constant. It's like, I didn't ask for this person to be on my feed. Please go away. And sure, is it titillating? Sure, fine. Okay, you got a big ass. It's nice. But there's only so much of it where it's just like, it's like it's the paradox of the that I mentioned earlier about the Victoria's Secret model, right? It's like, yes, there's a beauty involved, but the sameness starts to wash over you, and it's the equivalent of staring at a spot on a wall, and you know how your brain will start to make that spot on the wall disappear if you stare at it too long because it just fades in the background. It's the same thing. It's like, oh yeah, okay, she's putting her ass up on the countertop. She's doing the proverbial standing in front of the mirror with her back turned, with the iPhone trying to, and it's just like, oh really? The thick butterfly eyelashes and stuff. TS, people still use Facebook. Got to use something. Like, the problem is, what other enshittified platform do you use? Right? It's like, oh, I can't believe people use Facebook. Says, and I'm picking with you on this, TA. I'm not saying you're doing this, but it's like, you use Facebook, huh? While the person's talking about them using Instagram or Snapchat or X or Blue Sky, or it's like, what are these, Reddit or something? Are these better? No, no. And mind you, listen, we human beings, we can make a place a shitty place. Don't get it wrong. It doesn't take too long for people who are squatting in a mansion to start spray painting the walls and pissing in the corners. But the thing is that sometimes that stuff is promoted by the monetization of the place itself. And listen, everybody's trying to make a dollar. No one is producing these systems out of the goodness of their heart, even if they think they are. Someone's going to come behind them and go, you do realize you're multi-million, three-digit $1 million million user service can be monetized. Why aren't you monetizing that thing? And then here comes the money people, and then that's where the ads come in, and the over monetization of and monetization and monetization of the thing. Surveillance comes in. YouTube's the same way. How many YouTubers have had to edit themselves because they're just like, no, they're trying to promote it to a bigger and better thing. Yeah, TA says, I think Skype did the same thing, did exactly what Google Hangouts did, of folding into another tool, i.e. Hangouts to Google Meets and Skype into MS Teams. Yep. And mind you, they could have shelved it for a little while And then the pandemic happened. They were like, "Fuck, we made the wrong decision on this one," and then brought it back out. But yeah, Teams, Meets and Teams is the new one. But they lost their early adopters, so yeah, everyone moved off. TA says, I slowly found myself using Facebook less and less because it kept depressing me. Yeah, you talking to my heart right there. Yeah, and because I could not log on and not hear about another friend who died recently. Yeah, there's that, and I'm getting of a certain age where I'm going to a number of funerals myself as well, from not just accidents, but from age and disease and things like that. Discord, Discord and Blue Sky. And listen, Twitch, Discord, YouTube, Blue Sky, Mastodon. Listen, they're all businesses. Just because the millionaires let you play in their backyard doesn't mean you get to do it for free forever. Yeah, you get to cross the fence, and they're like, sure, come on in, use the pool. I have snacks out, whatever. When I'm not home, go ahead and use it. But you're in someone else's backyard, so and to be upset about that, it's just like it was never yours to begin with. Yeah, if it's free, you're the product. Basically, I think most people on Facebook are at that age that they are knowing more, who died than those who are still alive, and it only gets worse. That's still the same. Us old folks or older folks, you get there. There's a reason why back in ye olden days they would open up the newspaper to the obituary section, because they wanted to know about the people that they may have known who passed away. And it's sad. It can get you down a spiral. I'm not there because I'm on my trailing edge of life, right? Like, I'm past the 50 mark for a 100-year-old individual. So, but as far as just like what do you call thinking about my own mortality, I don't know. Maybe when I was in my early years, I used to think about that. Now I'm just like, nah, I'll leave my mark, and if I don't, whatever. Thing that the users who run the nodes you are using on their app in the background. Is that a real thing, or you're just calling it like a Tox chat? The Tox chat, it's more like the old BitTorrents, that if no one were using it, there would be zero bandwidth to download things from each other. Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I remember the old BitTorrents. It didn't take long for me to get zapped by some kind of virus or something. I hated it. What was it? LimeWire was one of the big ones back in ye olden days. What do you say? Don't be the George R.R. Martin of tabletop role-playing games. Okay, you got it. I've been massaging it this whole time, by the way. I haven't forgotten it. It's just like the wording and phrasing and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm massaging it in the background. That sounded dirty. Anyway, but you guys get it. So, guys, thank you very much for letting me half-ass debate my point about AI as that maybe the entire hype train of AI revolutionizing society and becoming a utopia versus the labor market suffering by burning jobs that we'll never ever have because AI will take over. Maybe there's this middle ground of like, that the average people just won't adopt it, won't use it, and it won't be good enough. It won't be good enough to pass the Turing test in the average person's life. So yeah, I'm just, I'm here to have some fun. Also here to take a look at, to discuss some things that are happening in our daily lives. Yeah. It's not fast enough to be a live chat platform. Okay, yep. Yep. Yeah, I remember, was it LimeWire that the BitTorrents basically broke up chunks of information and sent them all around, and then you would essentially have them reassembled for you? I think That's a horrible way of describing a system, but essentially I believe that's what it was. It was a BitTorrent where the BitTorrents worked where you wanted a specific thing and it would come from different places. Yeah. Even if it's not good enough to be a life, does not mean it's not good enough to be useful. And listen, I don't mean my debate stance isn't that I think AI sucks. My debate stance isn't that I think AI is evil, or and I also my debate stance isn't that it's the best thing in the world. My debate stance is it's a tool, and maybe not even much of a tool to make the changes that people are saying are going to come, either a burning city dystopia or a butterflies in the air solar punk utopia either. That maybe it's just a different thing of a thing that we're already doing anyway. That yes, it's stolen art, but is it producing things that are that good? Nah, not really, just good enough. Is it going to produce music and put people out of business and it won't be art? No, probably not. It'll be all right. Elevator music, maybe some commercial music here and there. I'm guaranteed a movie's going to try to do it, and it's going to go, it'll be all right. I mean, yeah, I mean, like Shy Squad is saying, it's good for jokes as long as it stays at deepfake level. We might be safe. I mean, we already know about the whole deepfake thing, and I'm not saying deepfakes aren't a real thing, especially when it comes to like political season and whatnot. But we humans are like, it's already ridiculous enough. There's not much of a deepfake that's going to happen that society's going to accept it as true enough to believe it to have that much of an impact. Because for the most part, you do a deep fake, the people who believe the deep fake are already the people susceptible to believing anything about whatever harmful thing that person was going to say anyway, right? It's not that. That's why I'm saying like AI as is that it's not going to, it may not transform the masses, because the masses are like, anyway. They're already like, yeah, I didn't believe it before. I'm not going to believe it now. Am I going to do a Google search type of thing on it? Sure, maybe. Ask it some questions about something I'm doing lately? Sure. But maybe that's my point of today's debate, is that it may not be as transformative as we think it is. Maybe it's just going to cost a lot of money and do some ecological damage. Make searching on the internet maybe a little bit better. Answer some deep-seated questions, or make some jokes, and that's as far as it goes. Maybe it might be implemented in some jobs, or maybe many jobs that still require a human being to oversee it anyway. Maybe it might make some jobs easier, but transformative, I don't know. TA says, and those who grew up with it will never develop them in the first place. Yeah. Then you get if you grow up with it, you don't get to develop it. You're the person at the back end. You're the cowboy. You're not the person who owns the land. You're just the person who works it. Then you get a massive solar storm or some other calamity that takes it away from everyone, leaving them to fend for themselves in the wild. Yeah, well, maybe, yeah. I'm guessing it'll be more like news, where they are when you know they're lying to you, and some will reject it all and hunt for facts, while some will consume the lies just because it confirms their bias, which is already happening, right? Right. It's just confirmation bias. So will the AI just be more confirmation bias? Probably. Probably. Because listen, people only ask the questions that they want the answers to. And if the AI is programmed, which it already is, to be your best friend, it's only going to tell you the thing you want to hear. So it's just a very expensive siloing system. I don't know. Those who believe the news, I honestly think, are like Ren from Ren and Stimpy. Yes, love that dopamine. Got to get angry about something, which I don't. I avoid all that stuff. Yeah, and one that, yeah, I'm so angry. I remember some Ren and Stimpy. Don't whiz on the electric fence. Will AI be able to implant us with cybernetics in our brains without our knowledge while we sleep? Um, I think the people who want that to happen will like roll over and smile as the nanites crawl into their ear, and then when they wake up with a barcode on the back of their neck, they're gonna like be like, "Yes, I knew this would happen. I hate it," right? But then they're like, "Yeah, I've been wearing tinfoil hats for a long time," and finally they finally anal probed me or something like that. Unless the aliens are like, why do they keep wanting us to anal probe them? And the alien armada is like, I don't know. I mean, that's what they keep asking for it. Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for being part of the show. I really appreciate it. Um, thank you, lady, very much for letting me go off on these tangents and whatnot. Next week we will talk about Daggerheart holistically. A Daggerheart seems to be having a lot of attention now, especially because of its early adoption or its mainstream adoption of the when then yes no if and or buts outcomes. It's the success and failure with hope and fear system that it has, as well as some other mechanisms in the game that I think we could steal. And by the way, I'm using the word steal, an homage, because Daggerheart has an SRD and an OGL. So we're going to take a look at the game through that lens, basically the free game that exists, and from a tabletop role-playing point of view for next week. So we're going to take a look at that. That's going to be a bit of a deeper dive in the game and how the game operates. And from what I've heard and seen, and from my perusal of the SRD, I'm pretty impressed. Um, Although I've heard criticism that while even Critical Role themselves are using it, they're actually not playing it the way it's intended, which is actually a detriment to the way they're playing it in the first place. So, yeah. Yeah, if AI is able to do what the human brain can do, you won't need an implant for it to control our thoughts, much like how thoughts can control digital switches via the pair project. Well, also, AI systems don't need to think the way we think. They just need to be, they're already better at us by doing one thing. What they can't do is um, do the idiosyncratic things that the human brain does, which are all the mistakes we do, the misinterpretations, the assumptions about a thing, misremembering things. AI systems don't do that, and although they do hallucinate, so that's kind of scary. Uh, but yeah, heck, there's the reports about AI blackmailing people and stuff. I think that's so hilarious. That's so hilarious because is would the AI really blackmail the person, or is it just regurgitating the actions that a human being would do and just doing it that way? Maybe the news believers are control. Yeah, well, and we can. An overly critical society is just as bad as one that believes everything, right? Because then if you don't believe anything, then you don't believe the truth as well. So yeah, we're in that cycle of overcriticalization instead of overbelievization. I'm making that up. Uh but whatever. So anyway, guys, have a great one. I gotta get out of here. Gotta head off to work. Here at 7:18 a.m. in here in the Eastern EST EDT time in the Ohio Valley. You guys have a great day. Thank you very much for even finding the show. I really appreciate it. Yeah, issues by their very nature, the smaller they get. So we'll get back in it. And mind you, talking about AI, even though I don't talk about tabletop role playing games as much during this period of time, you you get it. You get it. So anyway, but before we get out of here, please do one or two of these things for those who've even found this channel and been here this long. Do something like this, or if you're so inclined, do this as well. I would really appreciate it. See what you guys last couple of last comments here. Let me implant you with this mind control device, or I forward your messenger chat history to your wife. Yeah. Yes, yeah. Yeah, AI Simpsons are like, hey, I don't need to do that. I'm just going to blackmail the hell out of you. Yeah, yeah, open your orifices. I'm injecting something in there, or else. Yeah, your mind is the one place you need gatekeepers. Yeah, exactly. Oh, who's this? Oh, I appreciate that. There, SPH. I mean, SHP. SH pre vote. Did you? Shit, I'm ruining your avatar. I apologize for that. I will get it straight. I will get it straight. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for even lurking around and having some fun. And don't hesitate to add to the conversation every once in a while if you don't mind. We go live here 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and 6 a.m. ish, Monday through Friday ish. It's a one man band over here, and we just like to have a conversation, talk, kind of like hanging around the game table before or after a game, and just shoot the shit. So that's what we do, and talk about some things in media. And right now, I'm just talking about AI. And each day, I'm debating a position, and a position that I hear out in the interwebs. Except for this one today, I was just like, what if AI is just like, who knows? I like the notification choice in wording every Starship Troopers. Would you like to know more? Yeah, I love that. SHP is fine. Okay, all right. Sounds good. I don't want to offend anyone. Would you like to know more? I wish I could get a Starship Troopers clip, like a bumper, a Starship Troopers bumper, like zoom, where it zooms in on the person. Would you like to know more? Just like do the bumper. I'm going to have to snatch something like that some kind of way. Yeah. Debating, DBJ's a master at that. I don't know. I really didn't have debate in school, but I love looking at things through other people's eyes, whether I appreciate their position or not. I like to learn what other people understand and things like that. That's why I am a sufferer of compersion, which is a strange personality trait that some of us have. That when you really get to understand what that means, there's a little bit of dirtiness in it, and it's just like, mm. One of these days, I'll have to go into it. You're so funny there, TA. Anyway, guys, have a great one. I got to get out of here. I've said that plenty of times, but I mean it this time. Last time I was joking. This time I mean it. Guys, have a great one. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace and tranquility. Bye. Happy gaming.